Hey guys, thanks for joining me. So today's video is going to be a little bit of a different video. It's not going to be a makeup video. It's going to be about something that's going on in my life that I just kind of wanted to just get out there and talk about. I've had several people in my personal life and on Facebook ask me for more details about what's going on, and I thought the easiest way to do this would be to vlog about it, make a video, and people could watch it. It's also kind of good therapy for me to talk about it and get it out in the open. So that's what I'm going to do. So if you're wanting a makeup video, this won't be one, but come check back at any other time, and I will still have plenty of makeup videos coming along. But today I wanted to talk to you about my journey with multiple sclerosis. It's not something I talk about all the time. It's not something that affects me all the time in my life, but it is something that just recently has started affecting me a little bit more, and this is just a good outlet for me to talk about it. So I'm gonna kind of do like a 3-part series of my journey with MS and talk about, you know, just what's going on, my treatment and all that. In the future, hopefully when my beauty channel just kind of gets bigger and I'm making a lot more videos, I may make a second channel just to talk about MS and what's going on, but for right now I'm going to kind of just house it all under my Sunshine Ray 811 channel. So today I'm just going to start with part 1. This is kind of how I kind of not found out, but how the whole process, how the whole kind of disease, how I realized something was wrong. And then I'll kind of make a part 2 and part 3. So this isn't a really long video. I have some notes here that I've kind of typed up. So if you see me looking down, I'm just kind of trying to look at my notes to stay on track, because it's really easy for me to get off track. But first of all, people ask me all the time, what is multiple sclerosis? MS is what they think is an autoimmune disease. It's a disease that affects the central nervous system. It's an unpredictable kind of disease that can strike at any time. Typically it hits people their mid-20s to 40s. MS leaves lesions or scarring on your brain, spine, and it kind of is like your immune system attacks your central nervous system. In your brain and other areas, you have nerves, which are kind of protected by what's called a protective cover called myelin. And MS starts to eat at that myelin and destroy that part of the nerve. So like your synapses between the nerves, they don't fire correctly. I know probably a lot of you science majors and doctors and nurses are just cringing at my description of what MS is, but that's kind of the best way that I can describe what it is. There's no really known cause for MS. Some people say it's caused by a virus. Some people say it's an immune disorder. Genetic factors play in. Environmental factors can play in. People just, they're not really sure how it's brought into your body. And like I said, people who realize that or discover they have MS usually will have their first onset attack sometime between 20 and 40. Some of the symptoms of MS, they range all over the board for people. My mom had MS, I have it, and we have 2 different symptoms. But it has, you know, people can have impaired coordination, muscle weakness, chronic fatigue, double vision, vision problems, I'm trying to think, tremors, pain, speech impediments, loss of sensation. People can walk with a limp or be in a wheelchair, which a lot of people think of MS, they think of people in wheelchairs. There's cognitive impairments, and, you know, can mess with your memory and your attention span. So there's a lot of different symptoms of the disease. Now, there is no cure for MS at the present. There are lots of treatment options that will allow people to live a completely normal life, a relatively normal life. So my journey. My journey started back in the summer of 2010. It was June of 2010. And I remember it like it was yesterday. My little brother and sister were here for the weekend, and we were watching them. We had done stuff like go to the park, play in the kiddie pool, watch movies. And I remember that Sunday when they went home, I remember talking to my husband and telling him how exhausted I was feeling. I just felt like a Mack truck hit me. And I even joked about the fact that if this is what it was going to be like to have kids, I needed to get my butt in shape. Because I was just so tired. Like, I was exhausted. That Monday morning, I woke up like normal to get ready for work, and I just felt off. I didn't feel myself. The best way to describe kind of how I felt was that of a hangover. I just felt out of it. I was a little dizzy. My vision, I don't know how to describe my vision. It just fell off. That's the best way I can describe it. It wasn't normal. I felt this way for about 3 days. And for 3 days, I just felt weird, kind of dizzy. I'd drive myself to work and just feel not great. I just didn't feel well. By that Thursday, my vision had gotten a lot worse. It was just kind of, the best way I can describe how my vision was like if you're looking in like a cardboard tube, like a toilet paper tube or something. That's kind of what it felt like, and then it would just relatively just get smaller. So anyways, after Thursday, about 4 days in, it was getting smaller, and my vision was, and I decided I need to go to the eye doctor. I'm having eye problems. Something's wrong. I'm getting older. Maybe my eyes need to be checked. So I went to my eye doctor. And again, I'm reading off my notes, so y'all bear with me. Anyways, went to the eye doctor, checked all my eyes. He said my eyes were extremely healthy. Nothing was wrong with them. I do wear glasses, but he said, you know, your vision hasn't changed. Maybe you're just really tired. Maybe you should just take the weekend easy and rest. So that's what I did. I rested all weekend. I slept. Come that following week, that Monday, it had gotten not worse, but it wasn't better, and it wasn't going away. So I called my physician and decided I needed to probably go in and see him. By the time I got my appointment with my physician, I had already started to experience dizziness, like much worse dizziness, and my eyesight was getting to the point where I wasn't able to drive. He did a lot of blood tests and did a little like vision test and checked my ears. He said my eardrums were kind of swollen a little bit, and he thought that maybe I had vertigo. So I was kind of excited. Yay, I finally have some answers. I'm not going crazy. And he prescribed a steroid taper. I took my steroid taper, and he said you should be feeling great after this taper and back to normal. So took that for the whole week, and that following week, I think it was like that Monday or Tuesday, my alarm went off, and I went to get up, and I couldn't see anything. It was pitch black. And that is one of the scariest feelings in the world. Like, you're laying in your bed and you can't see anything. I could hear perfectly fine. I could hear my alarm clock going off, but I could not see anything. So luckily, I have speed dial on my phone, and I can just say call David, or that's my husband. And so I called him, told him I couldn't see anything, and we went to my doctor right away. Told him I couldn't see anything. Obviously, this isn't vertigo. This is something else. And he decided I needed an MRI. So he referred me to a neurologist in town and an MRI. I didn't get into my MRI for about 2 weeks. And I will say my vision returned. It took about 2 days and it returned. But once it returned, I had double vision. I couldn't see anything clearly. Everything was on top of each other, double. So like I could see here. But if I saw like a stop sign, I saw the stop sign here and I saw the stop sign here. I was really dizzy. had a hard time walking, standing up straight, and at this point I wasn't working. I couldn't work. I couldn't sit at my desk. I was just really sick feeling. So finally I had my MRI and my results came back. Everything was fine. My brain looked good. My spine looked good. They didn't know what was wrong. Got in with my neurologist and I immediately didn't feel, not that I didn't feel comfortable, but I just didn't feel good with him. There was a little bit of a language barrier. He spoke English, but not great. He didn't have the greatest bedside manner, and I know that a lot of doctors aren't going to be overly caring, but I was scared. I didn't know what was going on. You know, I thought maybe I had a brain tumor and was dying, and he just was very cold and just not personal at all. So anyways, went and saw him. He performed the same blood tests, vision tests. He had me visit a neuro-ophthalmologist who looked at my eyes. We had another MRI scheduled. And at this time, nothing was showing any results. My brain looked good. My spine looked good. My eyes were fine, vision-wise. Like, the doctors didn't see anything wrong with my eyes. So I started thinking, am I crazy? Like, am I just mentally going insane here? Are these symptoms real? And I was so frustrated. I was frustrated. I was scared. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if my brain was playing tricks on me. I had no idea. So one day we were back in my neurologist's office after lots of tests, and he was performing a very simple vision test. And it was simply, I just follow his finger back and forth. I was doing that, and he immediately stopped, and something caught his eye. And he said that he noticed that my eyes were jerking back and forth. So kind of like when I would like look at his finger and follow, my eyes were just kind of jerking. He said that this is called nystagmus or nystagmus. I don't know. Again, nurses, doctors, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But he said that is usually seen in people with multiple sclerosis. When he said that, I think my heart just dropped, because I know several people with MS. My mother had MS, and my mother was in a wheelchair and a walker and was sick, and I know other people who are in wheelchairs and walkers, and I didn't even know what to think. Like, I just sat there in that room with my husband and was like, this is not right. This is not MS. This guy's crazy. I'm fine. I don't have a disease. So after kind of just coming to terms with the idea that maybe I do have MS, I kind of, did what everybody shouldn't do, went and looked online, did a lot of research. My doctor did research, and again, scheduled another MRI for me. He said, I'm thinking you have this. Something has to show up on your MRI. So another MRI was scheduled. This would have been my third MRI of the summer. We had to fight with the insurance company to get it approved, that third MRI. I was told by my doctor that I would be notified when that MRI was scheduled, and about 3 weeks had passed and had not heard anything from my doctor's office. Now, during this 3 weeks, I'm not working, I'm at home, I can't see very well. I should have brought them in here, but my husband was so sweet. We bought these like fashion glasses, and he taped one side with black electrical tape so I could at least sit there and watch TV, because the double vision was so bad. He was coming home from work, leaving his job a lot to come home, take care of me. I needed help showering. I needed help going to the bathroom. I mean, it was a really difficult summer. And so during that 3 weeks, not hearing anything from my doctor, we're doing stuff, we're trying to get me better. I called my doctor, fourth weekend, and said, hey, waiting on my MRI, what's going on? And I was told from the doctor's office that they had lost my chart. It had fallen behind someone's desk, and that they were sorry that they had not called me, but they just found my chart. And I know accidents happen, and that's fine. But I was a little upset that I'd been waiting so long, and the only reason I hadn't been seen was because my chart had fallen behind somebody's desk. So they said they would get everything scheduled. My insurance company ended up denying my third MRI, so I was not able to have that done. So I never ended up having my third MRI, and I actually never ended up going back to my doctor because no one ever called me. I got a letter from the insurance company saying I had been denied, and about the time that I had gotten the denial letter, my vision slowly but surely started to go back to normal. I started to feel better, a little bit day by day. I was getting better, and I just thought, okay, this is going away, and it did. About 12 weeks from getting the double vision and the dizziness and the lack of coordination and everything, it went away. I woke up one morning and my symptoms were gone, and I felt normal. I felt back to Jessica. This all happened towards like the end of August, and as quickly as it came on, it was gone. I remember I attended my girlfriend's bachelorette party, and I helped her with her wedding in August, and it was just like things were completely normal. So that's kind of where I'll leave off, or I'll end right now. That was August of 2010, and never did get that third MRI, never really heard from my doctor's office. So that was a very interesting stage. But if you will, stay tuned. I'll be posting part 2 very soon. Part 2 will kind of talk about the interim, kind of things that happened, and then part 3 will be my diagnosis and my treatment and things that I'm doing to live a completely normal, healthy life. So thank you so much for watching. If you have questions or want more information, I will be I will be talking more in depth about MS and the disease in the second and third portion. Just wanted to kind of give you some history of how all of this started. So again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in part 2. Bye.